This is Professor MoneyPigTrading, and today is August 21st, 2021. We're going to talk about some stocks that usually go up with a really strong seasonality due to the US football season, which is upcoming on September 3rd. The first one is DraftKing, the symbol is DKNG. The second one is STZ, the Constellation brand. So let's take a look. And just really quick disclaimer, we're not financial advisors. Please assume risks in this video just for education purposes. And also as a disclaimer, we're actually holding DKNG stock and a long call option right now. And also if you haven't liked this video, make sure to like it. That will help our channel tremendously. And if you're interested in our Discord community, feel free to check out at www.moneypigtrading.com. We have Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, MoneyPigTrading, and yeah, feel free to follow us to get the latest education contents. So the first one we're going to take a look is DraftKing DKNG. It's actually a name running on fantasy football and also some online sport betting. And right now, after acquisition with Goldennugget, they also have some physical casinos and also some hotels, really good portfolios ready to break out. On the left side is this year's daily chart of DKNG. On the right side is the last year football season DKNG chart. You can see very similar pattern. June and July actually have a downtrend, and early August started to break out this downtrend and form a cup like this and have a little handle and start to break out again. Last year it break out at the end of August, eventually push up around $37 all the way to its all-time high back to those time at $65. So almost up 70%, pretty decent. And this year looks like DKNG is going to repeat the same pattern. Right now, once it can break the range high at $55, our next target is 56, 62.5. 66.57 and $70. And right now the DKNG is kind of consolidating, holding the EMA support together, being very choppy with the market last week, mostly because the market is expecting the COVID numbers. Last week the market is speculating what the COVID number will really peak in this Delta variant wave. One day's optimism, market goes out all-time high, SPY hit 447. The next 2 days, it doesn't seem like the COVID is going to peak. Market pulled back really hard, almost dropped 10 points on SPY. And right now we're looking at numbers August 21st today. This is the chart we get from worldmeters.info. And you can look at the blue line here is the 7-day moving average, and nicely actually start to drop. So that probably means this COVID will really start to peak, which we believe, if that's the case, we'll continue to see tomorrow, August 22nd, and the next week we're going to see really big rally into the stock market next week. However, you might say, oh, Fed has Jackson Hole meeting on August 25 to August 28. Wouldn't that start a taper that will bring down the market? I think that's really false conception that tapering will actually tank the market. Tapering is more like raining, okay? If it rains, doesn't mean the end of the world. Actually, it's pretty good for the world, right, to prevent the droughts. However, if it rains very heavily, like 1 day of a rain equal to like 10 years of precipitation, then yes, it's going to cause flood, and that's the end of the world. So it's the same thing as raining for tapering. If it started to taper mildly and as expected at the time in terms of timing, it's really good for the market. It will make the US money come back to US dollar, and the US market is actually going to boost the market further and make the market more healthy instead of having the hyperinflation, which is going to harm a lot of sectors, including technology and all the growth stocks. Right, so tapering next week, if Fed announced like, hey, we're going to start a tapering at the end of this year, early next year, which is kind of expected already. And if they taper like very mildly, like drop very little bit every period of time, I think it's very good for the market. And consider if the COVID wave start really to drop, we could start to see a lot of rally, especially for opening names like DKNG. We should see a relatively stronger rally next week. And also DKNG continued to grow its revenue. On the left side, you can see the revenue chart. The y-axis revenue in $1 million. So it's net income is revenues. You can see it started to grow exponentially starting in 2017. Last year, they really started to see the growth, almost double the revenues last year. Well, 95% growth. This year so far, they reported 2 quarters so far, but the revenue almost hit the last year's $640 million. So this year we're expecting potentially could hit $800 million revenue growth. That's a pretty significant exponential growth that you want to see in a growth stock. Similar growth we have seen so far is like Square, and you can look at the stock price. And on the right side is the earning per share. Right now, this company spends a lot of its cash on expanding, acquiring companies. So that's why its earning per share is still negative. Last year in particular, they spent a lot of money in many different fronts, and that's why EPS is pretty negative, even consider its net income has, its revenue has grown significantly last year. This year so far, the two quarters that have been reported, its EPS still negative. Right now, there's no any in the short term that EPS can grow positive, but that also means consider the revenue growth. They're actually sufficiently efficiently using their capitals to grow their market base and customer base in order one day when they reach the growth stage, they can start turning to a positive earnings. And not only a crazy Asian dude on the internet saying, hey, DKNG looks good, the ARK Institute funds are actually also buying DKNG since May. May, June, July, August, DKNG traded between 40 and 50. They have been adding DKNG constantly, so they're very bullish on DKNG as well. And also DKNG in the past 2 weeks actually have a lot of bullish catalysts. First of all, they actually launched an NFT, an fungible token marketplace, and actually a lot of stars and sport teams started to launch their NFT products and their artworks on the marketplace and actually sold out really quickly, and that should continue to provide more revenue stream for DKNG. And also last week acquired another online gamer and also a casino named Goldennugget, and it's an all stock deal. So that's a really good deal for both sides, especially for DKNG, because DKNG doesn't spend a penny of cash. Instead, just using the stocks to acquire Goldennugget, where they can actually acquire 5 million of customer base from Goldennugget's, one of Goldennugget's brand, iGaming. That $5 million now will become DKNG once the acquisition completed, I believe February next year. And also Goldennugget has some casino and hotels, physical ones, that will also be included into DKNG and to further bring more revenue streams and diversify revenue stream for DKNG, which is really bullish. The other thing that's really good for DKNG is several US states actually plans to legalize sport bettings before the football season. You can see the green and the dark one, dark black one, actually the ones that are ready to pass the bill or already passed the bill and trying to legalize sport bettings to gain revenue streams. And that should bring more customer base for DKNG and bring more revenue stream and hence bullish for DKNG. The other one that's really suitable for football seasonal play is Constellation brands. If you live in the United States, you probably have accidentally drank this wine or alcohol drink, even though you have never heard about this company. A few very famous brand, Corona is one of their most famous beer brand, and they have so many beer, wine, and spirit brands. I won't list here because there are about 200 of them. STZ, this stock actually goes up on average 9.98% between August 6th to October 8th every single year in the past 10 years. This is 100% reliable seasonality so far. On the left side is the daily chart this year for STZ. Right side is last year. You can see last year around August 17, STZ 4-day, 8-day EMA crossed and started to push back up all the way into the at the beginning of the football season. Actually moved about pretty decent 178 to about $200. So it's about a very decent 10% move. Very similarly, STZ right now kind of consolidate 4-day, 8-day EMA cross. Very likely it's going to start push back up, just like the past 10 football season. This year, STZ actually dropped quite a bit together with the whole beer industry because last year was a big year for the beer names. Because people stay at home, right, shelter in place, they have nothing to do but buy beer. So a lot of beer company see huge rally last year, and now the market expecting their sales volume going to drop. So a lot of them are pulling back right now, but necessarily means it's bearish for this name, just a little pullback to reflect the fundamental changes. And if you look at the earnings, we actually think on September 29, 2021, the market has priced in the fundamental change. You can see usually the Q3 earning report is always the best season or the best quarter for STZ Constellation. You can see in Q3 every single year is the peak sales. And this year, market already expect this peak sale will drop already, and it has to reflect in the stock price. Personally, I think this football season, STZ still a really decent chance to move out 10% for this seasonal trade. So just really jump on highlight really quick. We actually have an option-based swing trading account program. One of our members who joined about 1 month after, he's able to grow his account 540% from around $2,000 to $12,000. So pretty decent. We also have a nice long-term investment program. Average return per trade is about 20%. Winning rate is 74.51% so far in 2021. So if you're interested in our Discord community, feel free to check out www.moneypigtrading.com. And again, our Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, all MoneyPigTrading. Make sure to follow to get the latest contents. And thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.